Hey everyone, so let's talk about something that could impact a lot of us potentially with the recent changes in Canada's immigration policies and how the US elections could shake things up here in Canada. There's a lot of speculation around what Trump's win means for us, especially in the job market or even housing for that matter. Are things going to get harder or could it be an opportunity for Canada? Today, I'll break it down in a way that's relatable, and if you are an immigrant, you will want to stick around to hear how these changes might impact your journey. Canada has long been a top destination for skilled workers, students, and families all over, and the recent changes have aimed to refine this system even more, like category based express entry. This year, Canada's added new categories focusing on technology, healthcare, and trades, which means it's getting more competitive, and these are already high demand roles. Imagine you are a software engineer from India planning to apply through Canada's Express Entry program. With Trump potentially making it tougher for skilled immigrants to enter the US, Canada could see an influx of applicants just like you. While there's been a lot of negativity around Canada, but still there would be a lot who would want to come to Canada. That's great because diversity grows, because it also means competition might get stiffer. More people applying from all over means the score cutoffs for PR could go up and wait times could get longer. Think of it like trying to buy concert tickets the moment they go on for sale. Suddenly everyone wants in and it's harder to grab a spot. Now let's switch gears a bit. Trump's policies are known for being very American first, and in his term, we saw tariffs on Canadian goods like steel and aluminium. If Trump reinstates these tariffs, Canadian companies might feel the pinch, especially if costs for materials go up. And this trickles down to things like job stability and growth in certain industries. And if you are a business owner, imagine this. You own a small manufacturing business in Ontario, and if tariffs make it pricier to buy American materials, you might start feeling squeezed. To cover costs, you might have to lay off staff or pause any expansion plans. And these are the kind of ripple effects that could impact the local job market, especially in borders like Windsor or Niagara Falls. And then there's housing. As we all know, Canada's housing market is already stretched thin in places like Toronto and Vancouver. Now, if skilled immigrants who would have gone to the US start choosing Canada instead, demand for housing in these cities could surge. This might mean higher rent, tougher competition for homes, and maybe even policy adjustments from local governments to handle the extra demand. And of course, this has been a topic of discussion for the last couple of years. Say you have just landed a job in Vancouver and you're on the hunt for an apartment. With more people arriving due to the US tightening its borders, you're now competing with even more folks for a limited number of units. Rent prices could creep up and it could be harder to find a place that fits your budget. And this increased demand doesn't just affect newcomers, but locals too. Everyone feels the impact when housing gets tight. Let's talk a bit about cross-border movement, where Trump's stance on strengthening borders could lead to tighter security between the US and Canada. For people who frequently travel for work or have families in both countries, this could mean longer wait times at the border and perhaps stricter entry requirements. It might not sound huge, but for people who commute or regularly visit family, it's one more hurdle to consider. Now, one area where Canada and the US may differ from sharply is climate policy. Canada has ambitious environmental goals, while Trump's policies have previously been more business focused, sometimes at the expense of climate initiatives. And if Trump pulls back on climate commitments, Canadian industries competing with US businesses may feel pressure to relax some of their own standards to stay competitive. Let's say you work in renewable energy in Calgary. A rollback on US climate policy could slow down the market for green technology in North America entirely, which impacts Canadian companies and potentially even your job security. This could mean fewer incentives for projects that rely on cross-border support, and ultimately growth in the green sector might be slower than expected. So what does all this mean for someone considering a life in Canada or already here? Essentially, we're looking at a mix of opportunities and challenges. In my perspective, Canada is likely to remain a top destination for skilled workers, but with US policy shifts, we may see increased competition, tighter housing, and job market fluctuations. But what do you think? Does the idea of more competition in Canada excite you or make you nervous? How would you feel if tariffs impact job availability? I would love to hear your thoughts on this mix of opportunity and challenge. Drop your take in the comments below and let's chat. So, whether you are already here in Canada or planning your journey, it's crucial to keep an eye on these shifts. Understanding how political changes down south could impact life up here gives you a sense of what to expect and prepare for. Stay informed, keep adapting, and I'll keep bringing you updates as things evolve. Hit the subscribe button if you found this helpful, and let's navigate this journey together. And thank you for watching Great Tales.